Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, I am going to be doing a series here where I know for a fact that I will be ranking a tech champion to rank 3 in the not too distant future. I'm going to get out a series of videos where I'm testing a variety of things because there are 4 champions that I am considering. If you've already seen this part of one of the videos, go ahead and go to the description where I will have linked directly what is going to be tested in this video. But I'm going to go ahead and continue on here because one of the most common questions I get asked is who should I rank up? I have this champion and this champion, and who should I rank up? And more on streams and in videos, I am doing something called what I'm calling the MCoC Venn diagram. No, it is not a perfect analogy, but I think it gets the point across. And that's also not a perfect Venn diagram up there, but it gets the point across. I already have at rank 3, I have Warlock, Guardian, Ghost, and Ultron. They all have some similarities. If you cross them over, they're going to meet in some places, but they're also very different. And when I'm looking at who I am going to rank up, I look at one, fun. If there's one who's just fun or just amazing, Ghost, then that's who I'm going to rank up. But after that, the next most important thing for me is how are they going to fit into my roster? And I am considering Nimrod, Silver Centurion, Penny Parker, and War Machine. And if I just sat here, I could list off a variety of reasons why I think each of those champions would provide a lot that my roster does not already have. They all have a variety of immunities or resistances with War Machine. War Machine has the pre-fights. Nimrod seems especially tailored to hunt mutants, although there's some mutants you really don't want to fight with Nimrod, even though that works out. Penny Parker and Silver Centurion have very unique immunities that are very intriguing for me. Penny Parker and Nimrod can both deal with heal in very different ways. And as you look at my roster with Warlock, I have the basic immunities, and I of course have probably the best heal block in the game. With Guardian, I have tremendous block proficiency and armor and what he adds with that with the team. Also, not to mention his incredible energy resistances. Ultron, I think, might be the best mutant hunter in the game if you had to just pick one. The very cool immunities, plus the way he deals with shock and incinerate off the SIG is really cool. And then Ghost is just Ghost. I almost was tempted to not even put her on here. And so what I'm going to do over the course of this week and maybe 2, we'll see how long this takes, because I do want to make sure I get this right, and I'm very happy with who I pick, is I'm going to test those 4 champions in the interior. I'm going to test them in a variety of ways, and I'm going to show those over the course of the next week or 2 and how I ultimately come to my decision on who I'm going to rank. Now, in today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the champions and how they can deal with prowess. There's really only 2 that I'm considering that can deal with it in some way, shape, or form. One of them is War Machine. Today's video will not be an in-depth review of War Machine, although I do think we will see more of him as I go through this process in narrowing it down. If you are interested in a lot of what this guy can do, there's not a lot of people who've taken him to rank 3. I'm going to link a very good video. It's a war video, but it really shows off a lot of what he can do. It is by a YouTuber named MU8. I have seen the video. It is very good. I enjoyed it. And that is going to be a more in-depth view on War Machine. Check it out if you're interested in what this guy can do. Now, in particular, what we're going to be looking at today is dealing with prowess. This has been in the game for quite a while, but I do feel like there's more nodes and, of course, champions that are causing us to want to have to deal with it, particularly with Kitty Pryde and how she is going to work, the ability to remove prowesses or allow her to never even get them. And then on top of this, nodes in general, so it's not always going to be Kitty Pryde, I think are important. Now, how does War Machine deal with them? What we're going to take a look at this is his special 1, right? There's this minigun, it's suppressing fire, blah, 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 blah. Basically, it is going to allow him with the rupture debuffs, for each suppression debuff applied is also going to remove 1 prowess effect from the opponent. So that is a big deal. Like I said, we're going to take a look at a video of this happening and kind of just go through and talk about that as we go. Now, the other champion that we're going to take a look at, and the next champion that we're going to take a look at is Nimrod. I have been having a lot of fun playing Nimrod, and I don't have him awakened, which is going to be part of what I'm going to take into account when I look at this and finally decide who I'm going to rank up. Now, today we're looking at how he deals with Prowess, and this is in his Blitz protocol. He has the Blitz protocol, the Titan protocol, and then I think a third one, or I know a third one, which I believe is called Eradicate, which is just combining these two protocols. So if you're really trying to handle Prowess, if that's your major concern, and also regeneration, this clearly is the Blitz protocol. It's the one you want to be in more, and then you're obviously going to want to spend a lot of time in that Eradicate, because it's both the protocols. And that's a lot of the nuance on playing Nimrod, which again, we'll go into more in a separate video. But for this, every attack is just going to remove one prowess in regeneration, replacing it with a shock buff, dealing this energy damage. So not only are you going to remove these abilities, the prowess and regeneration, but you're now actually going to add energy damage to the defender. Pretty cool to see how this looks. I did want to point out though, the wording is different. The wording on War Machines is different than the wording on Nimrods. And I really wanted to test out, I know how it's going to turn out, but I really wanted to test out, is Nimrod also going to remove passives? All right, we're going to start off testing this with Nimrod. Now, I am going in expecting him to perform better. He is a great stand-alone champion from what I can tell. Now, he's going to have these 3 protocols. They're going to be the passives in the upper left-hand corner. He's going to start off in his Titan, which is going to be blue. It is the orange one, which is Blitz, that will allow me to remove the prowess. And then, of course, when we combine them by throwing a special, by having 10 protocol charges, we'll go into the Eradicate, which combines them, and of course, will still allow me to remove the prowess. So I'm going to kind of just go in here. This is just a duel we're doing against this Havoc, who will be gaining prowess. I wanted to see how this would work out. I don't expect Nimrod to do very well in this matchup because he's doing the energy damage against Havoc, but is a nice way to kind of test this out. You see that we're now at the 10 protocol charges, again, in the upper left-hand corner with the prowess, and with the passive. And in order to remove the prowess from Havoc, I now need to be in the Blitz or the Eradicate. We're going to go into the Eradicate right now. And you just see how every attack, every hit of that special attack is removing the prowess. That worked out very well. It's very simple. I don't need to throw specials in order to make it happen. I don't need to gain power. Yeah, I have to stay in the Blitz protocol if I was really that concerned about it, but I don't think that's the end of the world. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at how War Machine can remove these prowess. Remember, it's off his SP1. And from what I saw, the way I read it, it was the 5 suppression debuffs that get landed from there will each remove 1 prowess, but you're going to see something interesting happen here. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Now, same idea, same exact duel, right? We need to be throwing our SP1, so Havoc is building his prowess there. And we'll go in and throw our SP1 right here. And you see, we've landed the 5 suppressions, all the prowess. So I think there was only 1 at the time had been removed. But check this out. This was interesting to me. Havoc now has the 5 prowess. And I should have thrown the special there, but I did not, which ends up being kind of fortuitous for us. Here we go. So he's at 6, and we're going to throw this special. And they're all removed. Now, there's a chance I just misread. There's a chance I just read. I'm open to that idea. But also maybe I just misunderstood. I think that was very interesting that he removed more the prowess than he landed suppression debuffs. That's very interesting to me, and I do think that's something to be pointed out. And I'm going to stop it here because it's really just the same thing over and over at this point. Now, War Machine is a utility champion. He has those really nice pre-fights, so that make his team better and potentially him if you use them. I didn't expect him to do as well as Nimrod, and so I want to point that out. And again, if you're really interested in War Machine, and I think you should be if you have one, especially if he's awakened, go ahead and check out that video from MU8. It is linked in the description. It really shows off some of what War Machine can do, and that, along with the video from Campo, is why I'm even including War Machine in this testing. I do like a lot of what he could bring from the team, but I have to say, Nimrod really beats him in this one for me. And there's a couple of reasons. And again, this is how I evaluate rank ups and things like this. There are conditions that need to be met for Nimrod to for War Machine to remove these prowesses that sometimes you're not going to be able to do anything about. The first one is that he needs to throw a special, and it has to be the special one. Sometimes we see these things limited, it just happens. But that necessitates and means that you have to be gaining power. We see nodes and fights where sometimes you can't gain power. And then last, and maybe most importantly for me, is that he needs to land the debuff. The prowess removal doesn't come from a hit or from an attack or contact or anything like that, or from a mode. It comes from landing a debuff that's coming from the SP1. So you need to be able to gain power. You need to be able to throw your SP1. You have to pretty much only throw your SP1 if you want this to be consistent. And then you also need the defender to be able to have debuffs placed on them. Is that the end of the world? No. But when I'm trying to figure out my 5th or my 6th tech rank up champion to rank 3, this is the sort of nitty gritty that I'm getting down to when I'm trying to satisfy a niche. And the niche I'm looking at here is prowess removal. I have no champion that can do that. So if I'm going to look at that, I'm going to prioritize it. I want the best one I can, or at least I want to make sure I look at that as strictly as I possibly can when evaluating who I'm going to rank up. Nimrod completely wins this. He doesn't need to gain power to do it. He doesn't need to throw a special to do it. Yes, he needs to stay in that blitz or eradicate protocol, but those are the 2 of the 3 that he can do. It is possible for him to get into the eradicate protocol. He does need to throw a special, but if he can't, he can still stay in the blitz, and the blitz protocol is good. It's not a bad protocol. It's just not as defensive oriented, which, you know, if you're attacking, that maybe isn't such a bad thing. And he cannot ramp up his protocol charges nearly as quickly. I realize that all may not have made a ton of sense because we didn't do a deep review on Nimrod, but let's just suffice it to say that Nimrod, I think, has a much easier and successful and less restrictive access to removal of prowess. So for me, Nimrod wins this one. I'm not surprised. War Machine will still be included, and I have a feeling we'll see him in a few more of these videos. But this did bring Nimrod closer to kind of, I guess let's call it winning in my eyes. Let me know what you think. Are you enjoying this? I'm going to continue this program or this feature anyways, because I do really want to decide it. It is interesting. I'm learning. For me, I am learning a lot about these champions, and I want to be able to show this so that way on streams, when people are asking, like, what am I talking about? I can point at these videos and let me know. Do you agree? Maybe you're like, no, War Machine's better for this reason as far as the prowess is concerned. Remember, we're isolating abilities and then we'll evaluate from there. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.